The manga kicks off with a girl named Momo pulling her demon time move. She's half naked, sitting on the counseling desk and says, "If I scream for help in this situation, guess who society's gonna believe? A super cute high school model, or a random, unremarkable teacher?" Meet our protagonist Jimmy Taro, a rookie teacher tossed into Class 1A, aka Hell's VIP Lounge, where teachers quit faster than you skip a YouTube video ad. A girl's high school is a garden. As graceful the flowers growing here may be, for a male teacher it's nothing but a bed of thorns. Those were the words of a teacher, who's asking the MC if he's prepared to face what's behind these doors. Our MC, Jimmy Taro, just stands there blank-faced like a Discord mod on his 10th caffeine crash. He remembers what he was told: Class 1A is literal hell, which made every teacher before him rage quit. In the faculty room, we see a female teacher getting surprised as she hears a new teacher is coming. Faculty's already betting lunch. Our protagonist Jimmy Taro won't last a week. Black-haired sensei's like, "Those kids are rotten to the core. Double my pay, and I'm still out." Basically, this dude's toast. But Tenjiku is the only one who is low-key rooting for him. Jimmy doesn't wait and goes to the classroom early. Meanwhile, the students are gossiping about him, betting he'll quit before the lunch break. MC then writes his name of the board and introduces himself to class, telling them he'll be their homeroom teacher. The girls don't even clock him, and now they are thinking he is John Cena, because they didn't see him entering the class. The girls think he's the most boring-looking teacher ever, but some say he looks a bit edgy. A cute girl named Momo smells blood and goes full Regina George. She dubs him Mr. Boring, and with a villainous smile on her face asks, "Are you a virgin?" The girls look at each other and suddenly start to laugh. Whole class loses it thinking he is a loser, but like a real Sigma male, he just calmly says, "Yes, virgin for life, teacher for life." Hearing him say this without getting flustered surprises the girl. They think that it's very sad and that there's just no one who'd take him. Sad vibes only, like a Reddit thread at 3 a.m. MC then asks the girl if she has any more questions as he tells her name and attendance number, which catches the girl off guard. She comes near him acting all cute and says, "Wow, you already remember Momo's name." She continues lays out all her personal details, as if she was at an audition, and informs him that she is a famous high school model working for the trendiest magazine called Heaven Teen. Suddenly, she looks disgusted at the MC, and tells him that she can't stomach a creepy teacher like him. Grabbing the attendance book, she yeets it into the trash bin, and tells him to quit his job. After the class, Tenjiku tells MC that Momo was a child actor and she's been in show business. Because everyone was always head over heels for her, she does whatever she wants. One teacher after another quit their job because of harassment by Momo. Later in another class, Momo asks him why the hell is he here. Their next class is physics, but he's a math teacher. Jimmy tells her that he has a teacher's license in multiple subjects. Hearing this makes all the girls surprised while Momo says that their grades will mostly depend on his evaluations. The MC tells them that he will only be fulfilling his responsibilities as a teacher, nothing more, nothing less. However, if their grades are unsatisfactory, they might have to repeat a year. He turns around and starts the class and tells everyone to open their books to page 34. Momo tries her usual tricks and throws juice on him. With a smirk on her face, she apologizes and says her hand slipped. She tries her best to bait him into hitting her. Jimmy calmly takes the juice from her hand and tells her that if her hand slipped, that's unfortunate. However, eating and drinking during class is against school rules, so now she has to see him in the counseling room after school. The entire class starts talking like, "Damn, did you hear that? Getting detention in high school. Maybe Momo will have to repeat a year." Someone says that's so lame. Momo gets angry and grinds her teeth. This is the first time a teacher has outsmarted her. After the physics class, Momo gets a call from her manager. Upon asking about the variety show she was supposed to appear on, the manager tells her that it got cancelled. She tells the manager that it's no big deal, but after ending the call, she throws the phone on the ground. A few moments later, we see Jimmy looking at his watch as he stands in front of the counseling room. Upon opening the door, he sees Momo half naked on the table. She asks, "If I scream for help in this situation, guess who society's gonna believe? A super cute high school model or a random, unremarkable teacher?" But Jimmy flips the script and rips his shirt as he calls her attendance number and name. He tells her that it's time to educate her. Momo sees the elephant in his pants and starts sweating, but then instead of disciplining her, he opens the door and screams for help, making it look like she attacked him. As the MC is still screaming, Momo grabs his shirt and tells him who in their right mind would want to attack him. Teachers rush in and Momo starts acting like the victim. He tells them that if he really did attack her, he believes that they're dealing with harassment, a criminal case. So he is going to defend himself. Then, after fingerprints are taken, he will wait for the results. After hearing this, Momo realizes she is screwed. He continues and says that since their school's uniforms have zippers, his fingerprints should be on hers. He asks Momo if she's willing to undergo that. He points towards his collar and tells her that they would find fingerprints on his collar. He thought that something like this might happen, so he wore a shirt that makes finding fingerprints easier. Suddenly, the teachers are like, wait, was Momo actually the aggressor? Hearing this shocks Momo. Suddenly, she kicks the MC as the others tell her to stop. The female teachers grab Momo and take her aside. The MC suddenly tells her that the teachers who had to resign because of her were probably feeling the same way as you do now. Everyone's stunned because instead of pressing charges, he literally hits her with a motivational quote like he's Sensei Gigachad. Tenjiku screams at Momo and tells her that she went too far and she'll be lucky if she can get away with the suspension. Reality hits Momo, and for the first time she actually cries and asks for forgiveness. Jimmy smiles at her and tells her that this is the garden that nurtures her and she's a blooming flower. She should be pure of heart and have a wonderful, fulfilling school life. Bro checks his watch mid-drama and says, anyway, my shift's over. See you tomorrow, and dips. Teachers are shook that he just walked out like it was nothing. Momo wipes her tears and calls him a total virgin. But deep down, she now has a crush on him. We then see a group of 4 mean girls writing insults about both Momo and Jimmy. They're like, perfect, let's make sure these two disappear. Welcome to Class 1A, class with literal Dark Souls level difficulty for teachers. After yesterday's incident, teachers are gossiping like it's a Reddit thread. A female teacher leans in, saying the plain dude Jimmy actually got pounded by Momo yesterday. They couldn't believe that our NPC-looking protagonist could pull something off like that. But before they can unpack that spicy tea, Tenjiku slams the door open, panicking like she saw a ghost of Diddy, and tells him to visit Class 1A immediately. As they rush upstairs, she explains the real deal. Class 1A has 5 bosses, but they are protected by money and family connections. They're not just delinquents, they're the chosen ones. Yabu Tsubaki, a politician's daughter and a top student at the academy. Tsusuji Erika, a rich Shibatsu princess with top grades. Okana Nizasa, a national champion volleyball queen who's a cool beauty. Otamaki, an Instagram artist, already being scouted by publishers. And finally, Hanaka Momo, the super cutie high school model with plot armor. Except right now, hers is falling apart. Momo walks into class and she's in shock. Upon seeing the words on the board, she screams and asks who in the hell did this. A classmate timidly says that it'd been there since morning. Suddenly, someone bumps into her. Momo turns around and sees that it's the other 4 mean girls. Tsubaki coldly says you're in the way and tells her to move it. She screams at them and asks Tsubaki if she's the one who wrote that on the board. She smirks, so what if I did? Momo asks what is she trying to do here. On the verge of crying she calls their names and says, you guys are Momo's friends, right? With a villainous smile she tells her, nobody here is your friend, and calls her stupid. This hits her harder than the Mortal Kombat fatality line, and tears start flowing down her cheeks. Odaki joins in and says she saw Momo simping for that virgin teacher in her underwear. The class starts throwing shade at her, saying things like, for real? With the virgin teacher? That's gross. Zero taste. Tsubaki walks up to her and delivers the final blow. Never talk to me again. I don't even want to see your face. Right then, Jimmy and Tenjiku enter the classroom. She horrified to see what's written on the board, and starts scrubbing the board. Upon asking who wrote such terrible things, the entire class stays silent like they saw a ghost or something. The MC looks at Momo and sees her in shock. Tenjiku looks at Jimmy and tells her to do something. Jimmy, stone cold, looks at his watch and tells her that first period is about to start and asks her to leave. Later, Momo finds her textbook vandalized with insults. She wonders why is this happening to her and blames Jimmy for ruining her perfect life. After class, Momo yeets the textbook at the MC. He looks at what's written on the book and asks her what it is. She screams at him and tells him that her life is a mess thanks to him. Momo shows him her phone, news articles blowing up about her attacking her homeroom teacher and her managers about to nuke her career. She looks sad as she says that this can't get any worse and wants to quit this school already. Jimmy calmly asks her if she's okay. That tiny bit of kindness makes her heart skip a beat, but then he goes back to NPC mode, orders her a replacement textbook, and dips. Bro is built different. Momo grabs his shirt, begging him to take responsibility for her ruined modeling career. Confused, Jimmy's like, how is that a teacher's job? He tells her that he's not concerned with whatever she does for her job. His job is to ensure she live a comfortable school life, and that's all he can do for her. Jimmy walks away telling her that she has physics next, and if she's going to be late, it'll go on her record. Absolute Sigma move. Momo screams, you suck, stupid virgin teacher. She storms after him, vowing to take him down if her career tanks. While this was happening, 2 of Momo's classmates were looking at them and wonder what the hell is she doing. They question her choices, saying that Momo could gotten any guy she'd ever wanted in the entertainment world, but she chose that virgin above everyone else. They dunk on her isolation, saying she's hit rock bottom. Tsubaki watches from afar, then leaves without saying a word. Cut to the infirmary, someone scrolling the news about Momo's scandal. Tsubaki slides in, asking this person if they got a minute. We see a girl on the infirmary's bed with bandages covered in blood all around her, as Tsubaki tells her that she's got something to tell her. We see the 4 Mean Girls squad walking together. One of them asks Tsubaki why she went to the infirmary. Oda says that's where the hooky girl, who dropped out from school, is. Naza tries to remember the hooky girl, but Erika tells her it's kinda mean to call her that. Tsubaki with a villainous smirk tells them a story like it's a Netflix true crime episode. Back in the day, there was a newly hired passionate teacher. 2 students entered his life. One was a bratty disobedient cutie, most likely Momo, while the other was the introvert hooky girl who always reported sick at the infirmary. The bratty girl continuously teased and bullied the teacher. Introverted hooky girl always encouraged him. One day, this girl confessed that she hates the school and that she wants to be with the teacher. Things got spicy real fast. However, that's when the teacher was forced to quit, due to the mischievous schemes of the disobedient girl. Since that day, the hooky girl has hated the disobedient brat. In her mind, the bratty girl should have been kicked out, not the teacher. Meanwhile, Momo is looking down at her destroyed shoes. She gets annoyed thinking her life sucks. While walking, she mumbles that day in, day out, Momo keeps losing her stuff. They keep calling me ugly, but I'm literally super cute. She then bumps into Jimmy-sensei and Tenjiku. MC calmly tells her homeroom is starting. Momo snaps at him, telling him that now's not the time for this. She tells him that it's not just her textbooks, this time her indoor shoes also got messed with. Before Jimmy can say anything based, they hear a loud crash in the distance. They run towards the sound and find a girl has tumbled down the stairs. Tenjiku panics, oh no, what do we do? But Jimmy's cool as a cucumber and checks her pulse like he's in medical TV drama. The girl tells them that she's sorry and slipped while coming down the stairs. He checks the girl, says she's conscious, no major injuries, but they should still call an ambulance. Tenjiku in the back is like, bro, are you a teacher or a doctor? He says the girl's index number and calls her by name, Mari. We then see an ambulance taking the girl to a hospital. MC tells Tenjiku that he'll tag along with Mari and leaves the rest to her. She looks concerned and asks if he knows about Mari. Unaware, he asks what about it. She tells him that Mari is nicknamed the hooky girl. Even since she enrolled into high school, she's been missing her lessons and spending days in the infirmary. Most of her classmates don't even know what she looks like. She's surprised MC was able to remember her name, despite coming here recently. Jimmy shrugs, I'm a teacher after all. He then hops in the ambulance with Mari and dips. Momo overhears this and realizes Mari is in their class. Later at the hospital, Mari's bandaged up and Jimmy checks on her. He tells her that thankfully, aside from a sprained left ankle, everything else is fine. Suddenly, she calls his name and hugs him. She thanks him for rescuing her and reveals that she has a frail body. In a tender moment, she tells him that nobody knows her. Nobody even says her name. He's the only one who called her by name. With her puppy eyes giving yandere vibes, she asks if she can believe him. Please don't quit, sensei. Don't abandon me. This girl is a walking red flag. Back at school, Momo's day is turning into a full-blown nightmare. Her desk is vandalized with hate comments, her books are ruined, and her lunch tossed in the trash. A black-haired teacher asks Momo if she forgot to bring all her English materials. When she tries to explain herself, the teacher scolds her and tells Momo that you can't get by in this world just by being cute. Momo loses it and yells back, calling her a noisy hag. This emotionally damages the teacher, and Momo is told to stand outside the class. She then goes to her locker, looking really pissed. She thinks that no matter who it is, they all don't listen to what she has to say. On top of that, now she's really hungry and that really sucks. At her locker, it gets worse. Her gym clothes are shredded and more unhinged insults are written there. She screams, "Who's doing this?" when suddenly Oda splashes juice on her. This shocks Momo. Meanwhile, we see Oda and Naza staring at her. With a mocking tone, she apologizes saying, "I lost my grip." They continue roasting her as they leave, telling her to call that virgin sensei of her, so he can save Momo. After they are gone, she just stands there and questions if they really had to take it this far. Momo, trembling, realizes she pulled the exact juice stunt on Jimmy. Realizing this is karma, she says it's pretty harsh to taste one's own medicine. Upon changing her clothes, she exits the room but runs straight into Jimmy. Momo slips and falls on top of him. The other teachers walk by at that exact moment, and seeing Jimmy under Momo, the gym teacher thinks the rumors were true after all. She panics, yelling, "This isn't what it looks like. He harassed me." Jimmy calmly gets up and hands her a bag containing new gym clothes. He also gives her a new pair of indoor shoes, as she said that her old ones were damaged. Furthermore, when he checked again, her notebooks and stationery were gone, so he prepared new ones for her. For cleaning her desk, he hands her some alcohol swabs. Cleaning her desk might be tiring, so he also bought some bread for her. Tracksuit actually blurts out, "Bro, are you Doraemon?" She asks, "Why are you doing this?" Jimmy replies, "Because I'm a teacher. As long as you're my student, I'll always be there for you." That line hits Momo right in the feels, and her eyes start filling with tears. But not everyone's happy. From the shadows, Mari watches with pure yandere eyes. Meanwhile, back with the boss squad, Tsubaki finishes her story. She reveals the teacher didn't just quit. He landed in a mental hospital, broken from all the torture he endured. The girls laugh, calling him a loser. Erika says that everyone has their limits though. Tsubaki replies, "Nope. The one who dealt the real damage wasn't the disobedient girl." We then see splatters on the ground. Momo and the MC turn around as someone calls for him. With a knife in her hand and death stare in her eyes, she whispers, "Please don't leave me behind, Jimmy-sensei." The teachers lose it when they see Mari hurting herself. They scream, "What the hell?" Meanwhile, Jimmy's face is blank as always, while Momo is just frozen in shock. MC calmly walks towards her, and seeing this worries the other teachers. They're panicking like he's walking into a boss fight without a weapon, but Jimmy doesn't flinch. We see Momo is dragging Tenjiku, who completely fainted. She's like, "Why are you the one passing out right now?" Tenjiku weakly apologizes, saying she can't handle blood. While searching for medicine, Momo grumbles, but Tenjiku suddenly smiles and says, "You're really kind, Momo." She turns around looking confused and asks what does she mean by that, and wonders if she's being sarcastic. Momo tries to argue back, "I ditched class before, I threw erasers, I was a menace, but you stood up for me when they trashed my name on the blackboard." She continues and says that Tenjiku stood up for her when they wrote nasty stuff about Momo on the blackboard, and that was really nice of her. Tenjiku looks shocked, like she wasn't expecting wholesome character development in the middle of a breakdown arc. Meanwhile, Mari is in a hospital bed, staring into the void. She's flashing back to her lonely days, when classmates always ignored and made fun of her. Moreover, her own parents told her that they are busy and asked her to not bother them with her problems. The only light in her life was that one teacher who treated her kindly. She puts her hand up in the air, as if she's reaching for something, and utter the word, "Sensei." Back to the staff room, Hyuji, the yearhead, storms in and screams at Jimmy about the knife incident. He looks at her with a blank expression. She continues to scream and asks, "What if things took a wrong turn there? As yearhead, I'd have to take responsibility." But the other teachers admit Jimmy disarmed Mari instantly, faster than anyone else could react. Hyuji insists Mari is a dangerous girl. Meanwhile, one sensei reveals that Mari once went all the way to the previous teacher's house and hurt herself in the same way while yelling, "I'll delete myself here and now." Jimmy finally speaks up, "She won't die. It's just a bluff. Even the stair fall was probably staged." Hearing this angers Akashir. He tells the MC that he's terrible and only the victim herself can prove that, and not him. Jimmy just hits them with, "It's obvious once you pay attention. I'm a teacher after all." Then he casually picks up his bag, checks the time, and instantly dips. Hyuji tries to argue, but he cuts her off, "Work hours are over." Saying this, he instantly clocks out. Absolute Sigma move. Back at the hospital, Mari's gone. A nurse sees this and instantly reports the staff. Mari's walking bare feet on the road, trying to find Jimmy-sensei like a horror movie NPC. Next morning, Tenjiku bursts into the staff room, panicking. She looks for Jimmy, but the other teachers tell her he isn't even there yet. Hearing this annoys her, but she tells the teachers that this situation is really bad. Momo overhears everything. Tenjiku finally blurts out that Mari has escaped the hospital. Hearing this shocks Momo. Outside the school, chaos erupts and every student is looking at the rooftop. Mari is standing on the edge, barefoot, eyes pitch black again. The teachers rush out, screaming at her to come down. Akashir mocks Jimmy in his absence. "Didn't you say she won't die? Look now." Momo and Tenjiku arrive first. She stands at the edge and says, "Why is it not Jimmy-sensei that had to come?" With pitch black eyes, she says he promised her that he won't leave her behind. She's been looking for him all night. Momo hears all this and tells Mari that she doesn't know much about her, but Momo is here to listen to her troubles. Hearing this angers Mari. She explodes in anger, screaming, "Don't lump me in with you. You're a spoiled brat. You live life however you want. You even made Suzuki-sensei quit." Mari bawls her eyes out and says all she had was sensei. Momo confesses she's finally realizing all the bad things she's done so far. She acknowledges Suzuki-sensei must have been precious to her, but then she calls out Mari's method, self-harm, and roof diving. That's just harassment level 100. No wonder you've got no friends. That pisses Mari off. She yells back, calling Momo a dumb spoiled brat with a bird brain. Momo replies that she's super cute, so she's just being super attractive to others. And the jealousy from a gloomy person like Mari is really gross. Tenjiku tries to calm down the situation, but Mari continues to speak, and suddenly her hand slips off the railing. Momo screams Mari's name and tries to reach her, but she can't. Out of nowhere, Jimmy jumps over the railing to catch Mari. With one arm grabbing Mari, the other catching a tree branch, man's doing Assassin's Creed parkour in a teacher suit. Jimmy calmly says that was close, holding Mari in one hand like it's no big deal. Everyone screams like they just witnessed divine intervention. The black-haired teacher asks him if he's all right and to not do rash things like this again. He looks at Mari and asks her if she's injured, but she's in absolute shock and can't believe that she almost really lost her life. MC tells her that he knows that she's not trying to stop existing. You always hurt your left hand lightly. If you were serious, you'd use your right hand. I've been watching you, because I'm a teacher after all. Those were the words of great teacher Jimmy, as he looks at her and tries to comfort his student. He promises he won't quit or won't abandon her, so she doesn't need to keep hurting herself for attention. Hearing this makes her tear up like a child. Suddenly, he tells her that it's his private time during after hours and asks her to kindly respect that. He walks off, reminding her to wear her uniform properly and not be late for class. Tenjiku watches the MC and thinks that he dashed up onto the roof and left to save Mari without thinking twice. It's indeed a miracle that they were safe. One wrong step and they would have been dead meat. According to her, he can't be a normal teacher. She wonders who on earth is he? At her place, Momo's in the shower. She thinks about how Jimmy-sensei jumped off the building to save Mari, and she just stood there like a background NPC. She blushes thinking about it, but then snaps back and hits the bathroom wall screaming, "This really sucks." Next day, class is in session, and Jimmy casually asks Mari to explain the graph. She lights up like a Christmas tree just because he said her name. Tracksuit teacher notes this happened immediately after that incident occurred. Sakaiwai adds that it's not just Mari, even Momo, despite being roasted on the news and social media, still drags herself to school every day. He continues that usually students break down and shut themselves in, quitting school. The black-haired teacher agrees with him. Meanwhile, Tenjiku is standing outside the class and says, Momo and Mari are really putting in effort, and it's probably thanks to the MC's influence. But then her spidey senses starts tingling, and says that there's something about the Jimmy-sensei that doesn't feel right. As he enters the teacher's lounge, Tracksuit Sensei reveals they were just talking about him. They praise him for fixing the problem kids, and admits they thought he was a dead weight. They're all smiling proud, before realizing he already left the room. Bro is giving Usain Bolt a run for his money. In the hall, Jimmy suddenly hears clapping. It's the 4 queens of Class 1A, and they congratulate him. With a sarcastic tone, Tsubaki tells him that he leapt off the roof in order to save Mari. What a hero he's become. She says he's built different from all the previous teachers they've had, and it seems like he won't just run away. Instead, he's willing to face them. She even acknowledges Mari's chaos that made waves, and says Jimmy must have had it rough. Jimmy calls Tsubaki's full name and index number, saying Mari never left the infirmary before, because she didn't want to piss off a certain someone. Hearing this, the smile on Tsubaki's face disappears. After learning that the only people Momo could rely on were the teachers, Mari thought she'd ended up in the same situation as earlier by causing an incident, forcing him to quit. This would have forced Momo into a corner, a perfect plan for Tsubaki, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Erika looks uneasy, and thinks Jimmy is accusing Tsubaki as the culprit. But before she could finish, he tells her it's not that he's saying Tsubaki is in the wrong. However, if a person did commit such wrongs, this time's incident of Mari showing affection for me would have been a big misjudgment on my part. He adds, I only hope no harm comes to Momo or Mari. As he fixes his glasses, Naza snap kicks him straight across the hall. She looks pissed and tells him to stop shoving his one-sided thoughts in their faces. As he's on the floor, Naza tells him to not go around blaming people without any evidence, and asks who the hell does he think he is. Jimmy tells her that he's a teacher, as he calls her name and index number. Naza stomps on his head, and says that's exactly what she finds annoying about him. Teachers are nobodies to us. If you're gonna blame someone, bring evidence. Tenjiku screams, what are you doing? Naza plays dumb, and tells her that she doesn't know what happened. Maybe he just fell down on his own. Oda laughs and stomps on his glasses. She mockingly says, are there really men so pathetic they get beat down by girls? Jimmy calls her name and index number as he tells her that she's stepping on his glasses. Oda smirks, oops, sorry. Couldn't help it, you're so annoying. The mean girl gang leaves Jimmy and Tenjiku. Meanwhile, Erika glances back worried. but doesn't intervene. The MC tells Tenjiku that he's alright, but she gets concerned and tells him that he doesn't look alright at all and this behavior cannot continue. He clenches his hand and says he will not quit, no matter what happens. With no emotions in his eyes and flat voice, he says, "I'm a teacher after all." He then gets up and walks away, saying school hours are over. But something falls from his pocket. Tenjiku picks it up and it's a key holder, marked with the initials, JA, and number 66. She puzzles over it later at her desk, muttering what it could mean. Amari-sensei sees the key holder in Tenjiku's hand, and asks her, "What's that key holder you have there?" She awkwardly tells her that she found it on the ground. Amari tells Tenjiku that she should check online to see who it belongs to. She explains it's probably a graduation gift. Tenjiku looks at it and says, "What could this mean?" Amari tells her that it's a commonly used abbreviation. For example, their school is called Suzono, so it becomes SZN, and 66 probably means 66th graduating class. Tenjiku searches JA high schools, and stumbles on an article about Jonan private school. As she's doing this, she asks herself if she should be poking her nose into people's private matters. She thinks Jimmy-sensei is no ordinary person, and honestly, she'd like to get just a glimpse of what he's really like. She clicks deeper and finds records of an incident 10 years ago. She gets curious and wonders what kind of incident could have happened. A homeroom teacher committed some unbelievable actions, and that teacher's initial is J. Neither blood nor tears flow within his body. That teacher is a cold-blooded murderer. Currently, he isn't serving a sentence and has only been slapped with a light charge. But people demand justice because they believe he will someday revert to his old ways. Tenjiku's blood runs cold. She stares at the screen. It can't be. It can't possibly be him. Could Jimmy-sensei really be a monster?